Hello, everyone. Good morning all. Here we go. Yes, exactly, Austin. It's good to see you, my friend Steve Festus Kasaboom. It is also good to see you. Akin, Clarissa, Gabrielle, Carrie, Valder, my friend. Gerard, it's so good to see all of you folks in the chat this morning. My name is Voodoo Val, and I am going to be your host yet again for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I'm super pumped to be here this morning. Hopefully you folks can hear me and see me all right, and there's no technical difficulties happening. Yeah, I got that Twitch hoodie going on this morning. You guys know I had to get the purple 80s retro wave hoodie, obviously. It's definitely me. Great to have chatting re-engaged. Oh yes, absolutely, Ted. It's a great community here over on Behance. If you're not over here on Behance, though, if you are like Akash and Sadiq and Rintu over on YouTube, you guys better come over to behance.net/live, because that is where I'm going to be reading the chat for the remainder of the broadcast, and it's where everyone who is a guest and a host for the rest of today is going to be reading the chat. And it's also where all the friends are hanging out. All the design buddies are over here on Behance. So definitely come over here and hang out. I'm going to jump into how you folks can kind of get involved with me doing the challenge today. And then I'm going to jump in to actually creating my challenge entry. So if you folks would like to join me today, all you have to do is head over to the landing page, which is, let me pop over here real quick. You want to go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, and it'll take you to this page. And essentially what is happening over here is you will know that you're on the Photoshop challenge page, not the Illustrator challenge page, not the XD challenge page, because it will have the Photoshop logo up there, and it'll be decorated in black and gray and blue, so you know where you're at. And it will let you know that we are doing this challenge from March 30th to April 10th. So you are on the current challenge. And when you scroll down here, it'll give you a little spiel about how it works. Each day you will receive a challenge that will be unlocked to you. As you can see here, we've got the third challenge unlocked. The first day we did layers. We made a cool promotional flyer for our farming RPG little farmer's market. Yesterday we used Lightroom and Photoshop to create a cool promo and edit a photo to look like it was visible in different seasons, which was fun. Today we're going to do a pixel sorting effect, which I'm really excited about, and we're going to use pixel sorting to water our crops, which I'm pretty pumped about. If anyone doesn't know what pixel sorting is, you probably have seen it in a lot of like really trendy posters and things on Behance and Dribbble and the like. I was actually inspired to do this challenge by a wonderful artist by the name of Magdiel Lopez, who likes to do the pixel sorting effect in a lot of his work. After seeing his posters, I just had to learn how to create that effect, so I have a method prepared for you folks today. If you'd like to get started with me, all you have to do is click this Get Started button, and it will bring you to a place where you can download the starter file I have created for you this morning to work along with me. It's actually a hilarious starter file, so even if you're not doing the challenge, I urge you to download it just so you can have the image that I've given to you for this particular challenge. And you can also come back and hit the watch video button just in case you maybe missed this challenge or you need to go back and watch me do the challenge one more time. So, also thank you, Sam, for putting the challenge links and everything in there, as well as the Discord link. Indeed, if you folks head over to this URL, bit.ly/ps discord, it will bring you to our Discord channel, which actually looks like this. I will show you. So this is our Discord, and if you hit the current challenge button right here under the feedback section, it will actually bring you to this channel where everyone is posting their entries in here. These are so good. Look at Tans. Welcome to Duck Valley Farm. I'm loving it. It even has a play button. It's like oh, this is great. It's like a main menu for an RPG video game. This is rad. This is awesome. Well done, Tan. Asteroid Eden from James, very cool. Druideye did like kind of a cool edit here for hers in or his in Lightroom, which is awesome. Let's see, Susan Holt did kind of a snow Voodoo Valley type thing here, which is great. Let's see what else. Okay, so we got two here. So we got one that's like kind of a spring for yesterday's changing seasons challenge, and then she changed it to winter. This is awesome. That is so cool. Let's see, we've got these from Sunny. It looks like Sunny did a really nice kind of spring type view here, and then I also see a fall view, which is awesome. You guys are just killing it. This is amazing. Everyone is doing such a great job, and we'll come back and we'll look through more of these. Looks like Sig really hit it out of the park with the spring and fall, which I love. But yeah, we'll come back and look through more of these. Nuruddin, great job. This looks great. But I'm going to jump into the challenge for today. So if you hit that Get Started button on the challenge page, on the landing page, then you probably have this this file. This is challenge number 3. Add a pixel sorting effect to any image using filters. So not only are we going to add the pixel sorting effect to an image, we are also going to use the pixel sorting effect to simulate pouring water. We're going to jump into some other cool effects if you guys want a little more punch to your challenge for the day, and I'm super pumped to get into it. So it really doesn't matter what image you use for the pixel sorting, because we are going to sort of warp and add filters to the image so thoroughly that it will be unrecognizable. So if you want to use a different image, you can, but if you want to, you can also use this excellent picture of me wearing this fabulous wig, holding up a picture of my true love, Kylo Ren, wearing a overshirt covered in cats that have sequin and bedazzled eyes, because that's what I just like to wear on a Saturday night. This is my club getup, guys. So this image is available to you to use for this challenge, and I sincerely hope that you do use it, but you don't have to. So I'm going to go ahead and apply a pixel sorting effect to this, and then I'm going to bring it into a nifty stock photo that I found of watering plants, and I'm going to show you how you can not only use pixel sorting, but also apply it in a meaningful way to an image. Meme material. Oh yes, Greg. So everyone has this meme of me. Joining the challenge gets you this authentic Voodoo Val meme for free. So I'm going to come over here. I actually have my image opened in its own file here, and I'm going to add a pixel sorting effect after I rotate my image. So I'm going to come up here to image rotation, and I'm going to rotate it by 90 degrees because I want it to be sideways. And then I'm going to come up here to filter. I'm going to go in here to distort. Let's see, are we going to do distort or stylize? We're going to go to stylize. And we're going to add some wind to this, okay? So as you can see, if I zoom out here on my thing, this is like, honestly, it's absolute nightmare fuel. Look at that. I look great. Oh, you want me to move to the other side of the screen? No problem. I can do that with Adobe Magic. Ta-da! There you go. So now you guys can see my files and my layers. So this is pretty great. It's pretty wonderful. So you can use the different methods here. There's wind, there's blast, and there's stagger. Oh no. Oh, it's really bad. You could change the direction from right to left or from left to right. It's really up to you. I'm going to still go from the right. I might use stagger, and I'm going to actually apply this over and over again. Wind works. It's a little more, it's a little softer than stagger, and I want it to be pretty harsh, you know, as far as the effect goes. So I'm going to say okay on that. And it does stagger this just slightly, but we need a little bit more because not only is this horrifying, it also is not the exact effect that we're going for. So I can actually reapply this either by going to filter, and this first selection will appear, and that will basically apply the exact same filter you just applied to your image over again, or I can do the hotkey Alt-Control-F. So if I go Alt-Control-F, I can keep hitting that over and over again. And it will continue to stagger that over and over again, and it's just getting more and more horrifying. It just gets worse and worse. But I can keep going until it's until it's staggered enough that I am unrecognizable and I'm not an actual monster from the Black Lagoon. You can still, I mean, if you know what it is, then I guess you can still recognize some of it, but it is getting less and less recognizable. I'm gonna maybe do it. I'm just hitting it over and over again until it gives me kind of a good texture. So that looks pretty good to me. If you want to do it more to yours, you can. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to open my layer, or my levels panel, by hitting Control L. It'll pull this up, and I am actually going to play with the levels until I can get a very contrasting amount of color, darks and lights, highlights and shadows there, and I'm going to say OK. And then I'm going to unlock this. I'm going to hit Control A to select my entire canvas, and then I'm going to say Control X or Control C to either cut or copy the image that I've done. Now I'm going to come over here to this image. This is a stock photo that I found on Adobe Stock, and you can find whatever image you think is right for you. And I'm going to do a couple things here. First, I'm going to say Control V, and I'm going to add this nightmare fuel into my file here. And then I'm going to hide it, because we're not going to work with that quite yet. I'm going to come over here to this end of this watering can, and I am going to grab my pen tool, like so. And I'm actually going to draw around the lip of this watering can, and I am going to kind of make a nice selection out of the edge here, because I'm gonna kind of cut this out, or I'm gonna assign a color to this, so that I can add our water that we are creating. Let's see. Like that. Okay. Boom. Now I'm going to change this fill to more of a dark gray. Maybe a slightly darker gray. That'll work. So I'm going to leave that there. And then one more thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here with my object selection tool, which you can find in your toolbar right up there. If you don't see your object selection tool, all you have to do is right click. It's in the same little tool folder as your magic wand tool and your quick selection tool. So I'm going to get my object selection. I'm going to draw a little box around there, like so, so that I can select my little sprout here. I'm going to keep selecting until I have all of the area that I want here. And if it's not selecting perfectly for you, you can also grab the lasso tool like I am right here, and you can come in and select as you like. I'm not going to do this absolutely perfectly just because we are limited on time today, but that's good enough for me. Maybe I'll hit the end of this like so. Boom. Just get that in there. And then I'm going to make sure I get the tip of this right there. Okay. We'll do a little add on that. Okay. So now I have that, and I'm just going to hit Control J because I'm going to duplicate that. So now I just have, if I Control T and transform, now I just have a duplicate of my little sprout here. And I'm going to move that to the top of all of my visible layers. Okay. Now we're going to unhide our weird pixel sorting thing here, and I'm going to put that pixel sorting image in between my water bucket and my little circle there and my my strange sprout. I am going to rotate this. I'm holding Control. I did Control T, and then if I hover outside of my free transform area, you'll see I get that little arrow that's like two arrows in a curve. That means that I can now rotate this, and I can hold Shift to snap it. And I'm gonna rotate it up and down. Look at that horrible face. Look at that. That's just, oh no, it's just bad. So now that I have this, I am going to put this right here. Boom. I'm going to turn it on a lower opacity so that I can see my water bucket through it. And I am going to hover this over here in a way that I think will work. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a region that's only as wide as the opening of our water bucket there. So I like that. I'm going to grab my rectangular marquee tool, and I am going to go like this and kind of extend to the borders of our water bucket there and drag that all the way down like that. And then I'm going to Control J. So now I only have that one sliver of the pixel sorting. I'm going to hide the larger thing that we have going there. I'm going to turn the opacity up on this, and that just still looks horrifying. I'm going to free transform this and bump it in to the edge here. Maybe drag it down just a little bit. That's fine, just like that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make this look like it is pouring behind the soil here. So I'm going to grab my image, I'm going to come in with my object selection tool, and I'm just going to drag a little box there. And you can see it does select a little bit of the soil. I'm going to say Control J to duplicate that portion of my soil, and I'm going to drag it up above. So now it looks like it's pouring down into the water. And then I'm going to put a gradient mask on this. So I'm going to come up here to Image. I'm going to go Adjustments. I'm going to say Gradient Map. And then I'm going to select. You can actually come in here and look at a lot of wonderful presets now in the new version of Photoshop. So I'm going to come over here to my blues, and I'm going to see what they got in here. I actually really like that one right off the bat. Kind of looks like water. And you can see now, because I duplicated that sprout, the sprout is actually above it. So it looks like that water is pouring down behind our sprout. And you can select a bunch of them in here and decide what is right for you and your project, but I think I'm going to stick with this one. I quite like that. So I'm going to say, okay, boom. And then one more thing that I'm going to do just to add a little bit of extra reality to this is I'm going to come up here to the end, the top here. I'm going to grab my marquee tool like so, and I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say layer via cut. So now this part that I just selected is on a different layer than the rest of it here. I'm going to say Control T, and then I'm going to use the warp selection to bring this in like so. And I'm going to warp this so it really looks like it is pouring out of our watering can like that. We could even probably bring this up like so. Boom, boom, boom. Pull that in just a little bit. There we go. And you can do this. You can spend more time on this particular part if you want to, depending on what kind of item you've maybe chosen for your pouring. It may look a little bit different, but I'm going to use it like that. And so now it looks like I have got water pouring down from a watering can into the soil beside my my little sprout. And so that is kind of how not only you can use the pixel sorting effect, but you can also apply it in a meaningful way, you know, because there's one thing to be able to distort a picture of oneself in a horrible manner and look like nightmare fuel, which honestly I think is a gift and a true skill just on its own, to be able to create something that's horrifying, but also to apply it in a real situation that you could use for your own designs and things. There's a lot of really wonderful ways to apply it, so if you are not really into the farming RPG theme that we have going for this particular challenge, feel free to apply it in your own way and show us how you did that. Too cool for school. Wow, it looks like it's being poured down exactly. Yeah, right? It's actually a pretty cool thing that you could do. So now I've got my water bucket. I'm pouring my nightmare face into the soil, and nobody knows what's about to happen to this plant. Honestly, it could be in serious danger. She makes it look so easy for me. It's more of a brain meltdown. Well, Michael, I hope that you will attempt it so that we can see what you do. And if you have trouble, you can always ask me or any of the other mentors on Discord, or you can just return and rewatch this video and see about reattempting it. I think one more thing I'm going to do here, because I do have a minute or two left, is I'm going to hold control. Here's a really cool tip in Photoshop, by the way. I've got a selection tool selected, and if I hold control, it actually turns my cursor into this little selection thing. And if I click on something, it actually, do you see how if you watch my layer panel, as I'm clicking around with this, it'll actually jump me to whatever layer I selected. So if I click that, it jumps me to the layer that my sprout is on. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate my sprout. I'm gonna say Control J. I'm gonna grab the bottommost sprout. I'm gonna hit Control T. I am going to stagger it like that. I'm gonna go into my hue and saturation by hitting Control U. I'm gonna bump that all the way to black. I'm gonna go to filter. Am I gonna go to filter? Yes. I'm gonna go to blur, Gaussian blur. I'm gonna crank the Gaussian blur up on that, like that. Only like, yeah, like that. I'm gonna turn my opacity down, like so. And then I'm gonna go to my pixel sorting layer. I'm gonna hold Control and click the image, so I'm only selecting what is on that layer. And then I'm gonna right click and say select inverse. I'm gonna go back to my weird shadow layer that I have here, and I'm gonna say Control X to cut. So I only have that little piece there, and then it just looks like I have a little shadow of that leaf on the water, and I can even turn it down a little bit, so just so there's like a little shadow around there. And there you have it. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say Control Shift S to save as. I'm gonna save on my computer, and it's gonna open up my little folder here where all of my DCC files are. I'm gonna call this watering, and I'm gonna save it as a JPEG. Maybe watering 2, because I already have a test file here. Save it as a JPEG. Okay, how large is this file? Let me look. Oh, it's pretty huge actually. I'm gonna make that very small. And I'm gonna save it again. And then I'm gonna come over, let me resave it to a smaller file. JPEG. I am gonna call this watering 2. Boom, save. Yes, replace it. Okay, and then I'm gonna come over here to my Discord, and I'm gonna scroll all the way down. I'm gonna hit that plus button. It's gonna open my files. I'm gonna go to my pixel sorting layer, find watering 2, and I'm gonna say, here is my challenge entry for today. Boom. And then it's going to upload, and you will all be able to check it out. I hope that you folks enjoyed this challenge, and I have to go, but please stay tuned, because I am not the only segment that is on the stream for today. There is so many new segments coming up. I can actually pull up the schedule. After me, we've got Jason Levine with video editing, then Paul Tranny with the Illustrator DCC, Julia Masalska with graphic design, Howard Pinsky with the XD DCC, Draw Along with Kyle T. Webster, and then I will be back at the end of the day with the Design Off game show with Alex Lazarus, which was a hoot yesterday. It was so much fun. I hope you folks will join us for the rest of the Adobe Live schedule coming up next after me. So get into Discord, share your challenge entries, jump onto the landing page, and get that terrifying picture of me from the Get Started button on the design page, and have at it, folks. Can't wait to see what you make, and I will see you later on today. Adios, everyone.